Well, what we have here is a DIY 300 amp hour home battery backup, complete with a 1960s era TV cart. I just threw this together not too long ago. It cost me $850 from Redodo. The battery, 2000 watt inverter, circuit breaker, monitor, 40 amp charger. I do not have the charge controller yet for the solar because I'm not setting up the solar till the springtime. But even if you throw another $150 in for a charge controller, you're at $1,000, which is less than half of what a Delta Pro costs these days. And it was not that hard to put together. The general idea here is, for me, oh, there goes the fan. Hang on. Okay, the fan shut off, so now I can talk. Anyway, the general principle of this is my wife, her lungs, unfortunately, were damaged pretty badly by the COVID. She's stuck on oxygen, so I needed something to run her oxygen concentrator overnight while we're sleeping without having to keep the generator running all night in case of an extended outage. Plus, we have a hot water heat that has 2 circulating pumps, one for each floor of the house, and they take about 100 watts when they're running. Of course, they're not running non-stop. So I came up with around 3,600 watt hours to run the oxygen concentrator and the 2 pumps and a light overnight. So this is even better. This is 3,840, so it doesn't sound like a big difference, but it gives you another hour running that oxygen concentrator if need be. So this is what I settled on instead of plunking down the 2,200 or whatever for the Delta Pro. And it was quite simple to put together. We'll go over that in a second. Anyway, I find that a bonus to the whole thing is it's a lot easier to just come downstairs, switch the lockout on our panel, turn the inverter on, and use this to run the house rather than running 75 feet of cables from the garage to the side of the house and firing up the generator and all that other stuff. So this thing will run the house under normal circumstances during the day when lots of things are going. As you can see, it's taking about 600 watts. So this will go about 6 hours to run the house under normal circumstances, which covers most of the outages that we would ever have up here. So in a lot of cases, I wouldn't even have to turn the generator on, do anything. I wouldn't even have to leave the house. Just come down to the basement, turn this on, and you're good to go. Alright, so as we can see here, it's pretty simple. The negative from the battery comes up and goes to the shunt right there in the middle of the picture. The other side of the shunt gets the negative from the inverter and the negative for the battery charger, which is right there. That way you got everything coming or going through the shunt so the monitor can keep up with what's happening. The positive of the battery just goes over to the circuit breaker, and the other half of the circuit breaker goes to the inverter. I didn't put an on-off switch on it because all you got to do is push the button on the circuit breaker to shut everything off. So I use it for both reasons. Pretty simple. The battery charger is a 40 amp job. It takes about 7 hours, which, I'm not thrilled with, but it takes about 7 hours to fill this thing up from almost empty. You just plug it together and turn it on. It knows when to shut itself off. It works the way it's supposed to. So what can I say? I'm pretty happy with the way everything's working. I'm running it right now. Second or third test I've run it through. And that's about the bottom line on it.